seeing is already being presented there. So now I call upon Keerthi to discuss about how general public can contribute about astronomy. He is the current trustee of BAS. He is also keenly interested in astrophotography, so we have learned a lot from him as well. And he's also a principal architect who's working on ADAS, that is the autonomous, how the vehicles move, just like how Rahul was doing. So Keerthi, the stage is yours.
Yeah, thanks Akash for the wonderful talk. So my talk is very short. Okay, so hi everyone. So now we are concluding the sessions, right? So from morning, you have been hearing a lot about astronomy, especially amateur astronomy. Okay? And so as amateur astronomers, we are probably failed astronomers, right? I mean, we did not become professional astronomers, but we took this as a hobby and we continued this as our hobby. And but then we also use a lot of scientific and engineering techniques to do the stuff that we do. So let's say, for example, Snehit talked about how. So let's say, for example, we don't have professional equipment, but still, if you want to get good images, how that can be done, that was shown, and also how do you actually see these objects, right? So there are a lot of professional astronomers who are studying many objects, but they wouldn't have seen the object even once. And here we have Akash, who has seen thousands of objects through multiple big telescopes, and a lot of us have also seen a lot of objects. And in the morning, even our Pramod was saying that there are some students who are doing some research on sunspots, and they saw the sunspots for the first time here. So this is a very rewarding hobby. So as a hobby, this is also very rewarding. And if you guys are interested to continue this hobby and also to learn more about astronomy, how can we do this? So there are a lot of really nice books, and these books were recommended by Shashi. And so for astronomy, we have this The Cosmos, Astronomy in the New Millennium by Filipenko and Pesakov. This is a very nice book. And also we have Universe by Friedman, Geller, and Kaufman. And if you want to pursue visual astronomy, so you want to see many objects, there are a lot of different techniques to see the objects, and if you want to learn more about that, so we have this astronomy hacks, tips and tools for observing the night sky, then Visual Astronomy of the Deep Sky by Roger and Clark, which is a very nice book, and also Starware, the Amateur Astronomer's Ultimate Guide to choose and buy and use the telescopes and accessories. So there are a lot of really nice books, and through this you can learn a lot on what kind of objects are there, how to observe them, and what can we learn by observing them, right? So basically, after observing, we also want to understand what is going on in those objects, what is the physics behind those objects, and all these books will give us that idea. And if you want to do astrophotography, there are also very nice books. Also, there are a lot of YouTube channels and resources available through YouTube and other websites. So one of the best books which I had not read, and Shashi showed it to me today, that's the Deep Sky Imaging Primer by Charles Brecken. The other two I have read, and they are also very highly recommended. Astrophotography by Thierry Legon, and Digital SLR Astrophotography by Michael A. Corrington. So back in 2010, when I was starting astrophotography, I read this book, and it was a really nice book. So really understand how a camera works and how we can make the best use of the camera to do astrophotography. See, all these cameras are not really built for astrophotography, right? So astrophotography modes we may have in some of the new cameras or mobile phones now, but then these are not made for serious astrophotography. So you need to do a lot of tinkering. Maybe you have to do some modifications in the camera. You have to use certain softwares to take all these long exposure photos and then process them and so on. So there are a lot of things like this involved, and these books will give you that idea. Also, there are very nice forums. So BAS has our own website, but our website will just give you the links to all our discussion forums. Like we have a group in Telegram, and we have a group in WhatsApp, and so on. So the Telegram group is the most active, and also we have a good Google Groups, which is not so active, but it has like from 15 years all the discussions that have been happening. So those are available in the Google group. So BAS website and our Telegram channel are one of the best sources to know what is happening and how you can pursue this. And if you have some questions regarding how to use a telescope or how to use, let's say, your camera and so on, you can always come there and ask us, like where to go. So all these questions can be, you can come and discuss with us on our Telegram. So if you go to this bas.org.in, you get links to all our communication channels. So apart from this, there is Cloudy Nights. So yeah, we have cloudy nights now, right? I mean, we don't have cloudless nights. So whenever you can't go out and observe, you go to Cloudy Nights forum and then you start discussing over there. That's the idea. And there is also Adventures in Deep Space, which is also now managed by Akash. Akash, you are managing this one, right? Adventures in Deep Space. So this is also a very old forum now being managed by Akash. And also we have on our YouTube channel, has a lot of really nice resources which are not available in any other channel. So you could also visit our YouTube channel and learn more about astronomy and astrophotography. So if you want to pursue astronomy as a hobby, then these are all the resources that we have. Now Sundar will take you through, I mean, he will talk about pursuing astronomy professionally, and yeah, how you can proceed in your career in astronomy.
So good evening, everyone. And yeah, we meet again. I met you at the beginning of the session, and I'm meeting you at the end of the session. So all the efforts of others, I get to take the credit in some way. Thank you. Part of the reason why I started with that statement is because I started my journey as a student just like you in one of the sessions of BAS back in 2008. And Bas was just young infant trying to figure out how it should take astronomy ahead back in those days with many of the senior members who are not here right now except Akarsh and Keerthi. But yeah, my journey began like that, and eventually the interest grew into me becoming trying to become a professional astrophysicist. Okay, I wouldn't say I've become, but it's a journey. So I'm trying to become a professional astrophysicist, and that is the whole reason why Keerthi, Shashi, everybody asked you should be talking and you should tell how to go from amateur to professional. My initial apprehension was probably there wouldn't be too many students, so let me skip this session and run away from the audience and me talking. But it so happened that there are more students present here, and given the fact that there are more students, I thought it is better I speak very briefly as to what can be done and how you can take things forward. And if you are a parent, if you know somebody who has an interest in astronomy and how you can guide them into taking up astronomy and astrophysics is something
that I thought I'll briefly discuss. So the first starting point, in my opinion, would be to start off like how all of you have started, by attending workshops and sessions and talks like these, because these give you an insight into a lot of jargon. So today you heard a lot of new jargon, probably which you have not heard in your life before. Astrophotography, visual observation, sunspots, prominence, mounts, filters, not the aquaguard one, but so a lot of new things you heard. So these sessions will kind of initiate you into listening these words or hearing these words and then taking it further and kind of kindling that interest in you. And furthermore, if you are inclined academically, there are basically two routes that you can kind of take into becoming a professional astrophysicist or an astronomer. The first is the sciences routes, assuming that there are some BSc and MSc students here. So you do BSc with physics and maths. Yes, you cannot run away from these two if you want to do astronomy. And probably do MSc, preferably in physics or probably in mathematics as preferences. And then eventually you can take up research as an option. And then you can get into a research institute, pick one of the topics that all these people have mentioned. They have mentioned sun, they have mentioned star, they have mentioned nebulae, they have mentioned galaxy, they have mentioned Milky Way, they have mentioned umpteen number of objects today. So you can pick any one of the object and start your career in that. And at the same time, you have also heard them talk about telescopes, mostly visual. But astronomy is one such domain in science which has options across the entire electromagnetic spectrum, starting from gamma rays up until microwaves. Okay, so you can be an expert only in one domain. For example, there are experts who say, I know only radio astronomy. So they don't know anything else. Anything in radio frequencies, they are the experts. And then they say, even in radio astronomy, I only study galaxies, nothing else. So they are what is called as galactic astrophysicists who are working in radio frequencies. So the level of expertise that you can gain depends on what you want to study, that is the object, the nature of the object, and the wavelength. So depending upon what your interests are, what your skills are that you already have, or what you can develop over a period of time, you can be any of these things. Okay, so you can study any individual objects, all that you have heard, or you can do all of them in that particular wavelength. So that is one kind of facility that you have in astronomy and astrophysics. But it is also true that many of the students here are from the engineering background. So when you are from the engineering background, the common notion is you have to get into IT sector and then campus placement, sit at the bench, and then go for an on-site project, and then that is one option. But if you are keen in astronomy, you can still digress into astronomy. Mechanical engineers, aerospace engineers, there is a lot of scope. When you are looking at this telescope, right? Even the small telescope needs a very sturdy mount that holds it, which comes from an engineer. Okay, you cannot expect a physicist to build a strong mount like that. They can design, they can give the math for it, they can give the physics for it, but you would still need an engineer to realize that idea into a product. So that is where engineers become very, very important. Structural engineers are needed, mechanical engineers are needed. Engineers are needed to understand how glasses work and take glasses from being glasses to telescope usable glasses. So apart from that, you have also seen that there are a lot of wires attached here. I mean, Akash was just commenting, too many wires are spoiling the life. They always create troubles. So you need people with electrical and electronics knowledge as well. So a lot of scope for electrical and electronics engineers also exists in the field of astronomy and astrophysics. So what you can do is you can finish your engineering in the course that you are doing and then take up projects or specialization in astronomy as an application. So electrical engineering for astronomy. How do you build radio transponders? How do you build antenna? How do you build communication systems? How do you integrate them? So all these things are basically is what is required in the professional sector from an engineer. So regardless of whether you are an engineer, whether you are a pure science student, the opportunities that exist for in the field of astronomy is umpteen. Finally, what if I'm a computer science interested guy, no, regardless of whether it is sciences or engineering, then definitely there is bigger scope for you guys, simply because wherever we go today, the basic idea is data analysis. So data, how you see them, how you analyze them, what you draw out of them, what you conclude out of them is very, very, very crucial. So you can pick up data analysis, and there is a huge scope for data analysis in astronomy and astrophysics, which is also a very key position that you can explore. So depending upon your interest levels, you can pick domains, you can pick streams. And I'm sure there might be one or two students who are sitting here and saying, sir, all this is beautiful, but I'm very much interested in theory only. Definitely, astronomy also has enough opportunities for you. Theoretical astrophysics is one of the most crucial aspects to devise an idea, to come up with an idea of understanding lot of physics and math of different kinds of objects. So theoretical physicist is also equally important. And yeah, that is brief about how you can quickly go from being an amateur to professional. Of course, this typically is an hour discussion that I do when I go for my lecture, but given the fact that we are at the fag end of the day, I thought I'll not have any PPTs, or I'll not have a long discussion. Of course, if you have any questions or queries, I'm available. And if you have the BAS poster, it's my number that is there. So you can reach out to me any point of time. We can have discussion, or you can reach out to anyone in BAS and they will be able to direct you to me also, or I can respond. So I think I'll just stop here and say that, be it amateur domain or a professional domain, astronomy and astrophysics is one of the most upcoming fields in India as well as across the globe. I hope all of you are aware that just a couple of days ago, the Indian machineries, I mean, when I say machinery, all the bodies of the government, they have approved a huge sanction for space programs in India, which primarily benefits engineers and also astronomers. Okay, so all the students out there, um, you have a huge industry that is wide open and calling for you. So the faster you brace yourself, upskill yourself, and are ready, I think all of you have a wonderful opportunity there. So with this, let me wish all of you all the best, hoping that you will continue the journey that you started as an amateur astronomer today. And hopefully some of you will digress or progress, whatever you want to call it, from being an amateur to professional. So all the best to all of you, and thank you for listening.
So just go